Hello kids! Today we're going to discuss what or why is it important to learn the chemistry. So for today's topic, our topic is all about the chemistry, the matter, and the five states of matter, which is I'm going to discuss. This is the 5 states of matter. Okay, so first one, why is it important to learn the chemistry? So studying chemistry is important because it is provide a fundamental understanding of how the world and how the world works, from the food we eat and to the medicine that we take. So basically, it's anywhere and in everything. I mean, mostly in everywhere and everything, and also in the technologies we use every day. So chemistry is also known as the central science. So later on, I will explain why the chemistry is also known as central science. But can you give me an example of chemistry? From what I've said earlier, chemistry is from the food we eat and to the medicine we take, also to the technologies that we use. Can you give me example of that? Yes.
Tender juicy hot dog, sir.
Right. Hot dog. Tender juicy hot dog is example of a chemistry. Creating or making tender juicy hot dog is required, or that it involves chemistry. Okay? So let's jump to the another topic. So now we're going to discuss why the chemistry is often called the central science. So first, the medicine that cure diseases, fibers that go to your clothes, and common household product, even the complex substances that make up our body or your body are all chemical. That's right. We have chemical here, and we have chemicals here, also in here, and inside our body. So the study of substances and the changes they undergo involve chemistry. That's right. That's one connection of chemistry being called the central science. Also, chemistry is often called the central science because it is so important to other fields of science like biology, geology, astronomy, physics, medicine, and engineering, and many others fields. So that's why the chemistry is often called the central science, because it involves or it connects to other lot fields that involve science. So today I'm going to show you the example and explain the example of that fields. Let's start with the biology and the botany. First one in our fields are the biology and the botany. You know biology and the botany. Biology is the study of life, and the botany is the study of the life of a plant, or the study of the life of plant cycle, the photosynthesis and the kineme. All biological bodies are made up of chemical compounds. These compounds engage in chemical reaction that transport energy and grow and divide through chemistry to enable reproduction, respiration, and more. That's why chemistry is connected to biology and the botany, because chemistry is one of the crucial for biology and the botany. And the next one is the geology, geomorphology, and archaeology. This field, or another field that is based on chemistry, is the geology. Rocks are made up of atoms, So, you know atom, the tiny molecules or tiny thing inside our body or in the things that we see. And the chemical hardness, aeration, and other physical quantities that shape the landscape. In geology as well, archaeology, and many other fields, the gradual chemical change that occur in radioactive elements enable carbon dating techniques that have revolutionized our understanding of the past. Oh, that's why the scientists or the geographer or whatever they call can identify how old the rocks are. Diba? May mga nakikita tayo mga bato na sinasabi nilang 53,000 years old, 100,000 years old. Kasi ginagamitan din pala nila yun ng chemistry. And the next one is the astronomy. Modern astronomy will be not possible without a deep understanding of the chemistry. That's why chemistry is also involved in astronomy because without the chemistry, we don't going to understand or we will not understand the modern astronomy. So that's why it's connect the chemistry in the field of astronomy. And that's all with the astronomy. Now let's jump to another field or areas that involve the chemistry, which is the engineering and materials. That's right. Here is it. The engineering and materials also involve the chemistry, and I will discuss to you why. Kidding! Engineering and material science. Of course, basic engineering and material science is not possible without chemistry because modern things in engineering and material of science have or involve chemistry. That's why chemistry is connected in engineering and in materials of science. And that's right. That is why chemistry is also involved to engineering and materials. Okay? Now let's jump to the last one on my example of chemistry involving in another field, which is the physics. Chemistry and physics are interdependent, with neither field being completely understandable without the other. And if there is any science that was claimed to be a central science other than the chemistry, physics would be it. So, yon mga bata, kung meron pang ibang magiging central science maliban sa chemistry, ayun ay ang physics. Okay guys, let's continue the discussion. So, can I ask a question for you? So, this question is about the matter. Can you give me example of the things you see around you that is matter? Again, matter is the things that consume or take up space and has a mass. Also, it has a volume.
A balloon.
Yes, that's right. A balloon is a great example of matter because balloon take up space and it has mass. Also, it has a volume. So, now that I discussed to you what is matter, let's talk about what is in matter. So, we can see the light from the sun, and air or a picture in a room that like this. We can feel the warmth from the sun, yung init nararamdaman natin, or from the heat kapag napaso tayo. But light and heat do not take up space. From what I've said earlier, the matter take up space and have mass, but heat and light doesn't take up space and they have no mass. Therefore, there are not forms of matter. Also, ideas, thoughts, and emotion are not matter, but it doesn't mean it doesn't matter. You know what matter? You matter! So, going to discuss to you what is mass. So, come here. What is mass? The amount of matter in an object is the mass. Okay, the amount of the matter in an object is the mass. We know that matter is the thing that have weight and take up space. So the amount of matter in an object is what we call mass. On Earth, we use the word mass to talk about how much matter there is in something. Okay, again, matter is anything you can touch physically. Thoughts and emotion are not matter, but it doesn't mean it doesn't matter. The matter, the more matter there is, the more something will weigh. Often, the amount of mass something has is related to its size, but not always. So, halimbawa na lang, yung bato, kapag malaki yung bato, mas marami siyang matter. Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. Pero hindi laging ganon. Ang halimbawa nun is yung balloon. For example, kapag nagpalobo tayo ng balloon na mas malaki sa ating ulo, hindi ibig sabihin nun mas mabigat na or mas marami ng mass yung lobo kaysa sa ulo natin. Kasi mas konti yung mass ng balloon na sa balloon kaysa sa ulo natin. That's one of example. What is volume? Volume, it is the amount of three-dimensional space occupied by a liquid, solid, or gas. Words such as big, little, long, or short are used to describe volume. So, to describe volume, we use a word big, little, long, or short. That's the common things or the common words we use to describe a volume. Is the measuring of volume, liquids, solid, and gases. The method of meaning the volume of a solid depends on its shape. Because many objects are not regularly shaped, their volume cannot be determined by using a volume formula. The volume of this object can be owned by water displacement. So I will show you the difference of measuring volume of solid, liquids, and gases. Here it is. See the difference on how the liquid, solid, and gases occupy its container. I hope you learned how we measure the volume of solid, liquid, and gases in different or the difference between these three and different in its own container. Hope I discussed to you what is measuring the volume of liquid, solid, and gas. Now, let's jump to another discussion, which is the 5 states of matter. States of matter is one of the distinct forms in which matter can exist. While you have probably learned about the three states of matter that I already discussed, which is the solid, liquid, and the gases. But did you know that there are 5 states of matter? That's right. There are 5, not 4, not 3. There are 5 that I'm going to discuss to you. So, the first one in our list in the 5 states of matter is this. The Bose-Einstein condensate. So, ipaliwanag naman natin kung ano ang Bose-Einstein condensate. Bose-Einstein condensate is a very odd condition in which all atoms attain the same quantum mechanical state. So, very odd na condition kasi yung mga atom nagkakaroon sila ng same quantum mechanical state. At present, this state is only found within a mini portion of absolute zero. However, researchers believe the condensate may someday be used to make atomic laser or super accurate clocks. The next one in our list is the solid. Can you give me example of solid? That's right, a stone. So, the solid are the third one in our list is the liquid. Can you give me example of liquid? That's right, a vinegar is example of liquid. So, liquid is for the most part of
For the fourth one is the gases. Gases expand to fill the size of shape of the containers they tend to have. Relatively low density levels. Example includes oxygen and nitrogen. And for the last one is plasmas. Plasmas are ionized electrical charge gases that possess an equal number of positive and negative charges. Example include fluorescent lightning and the sun.
So, guys, that's all about my topic. That's all the topic that I'm going to discuss to you. I hope you learned something from my discussion, and always remember that doesn't mean the emotion, thoughts are not matter. It doesn't mean it's not matter, because it's also matter, just like you. You matter. Teacher Kram, bye-bye.